The question is, VVT has clearly been designed from the ground up to benefit both token holders and users of the platform. With the revenue-driven tokenomics being a key part of this, when do you see the platform being monetized for these to come into play? So this is the first question getting into that aspect. Like I said, the theme of this is going to, after those initial couple of questions about who we are and what we do, this is really when it gets into what you guys are really interested in, which is when are the users coming? When are the subscribers coming? The very short answer, so reiterate, with the revenue-driven tokenomics being a key part of this, when do you see the platform being monetized for these to come into play? The very short answer is it's already happened. The long answer is 3 months from now. And I'll tell you why. So right now, we derive a very small, so the key to understanding our revenue, the next like 5 questions, the background to understand that is that the VersoView business model is a low cost, high volume business model. We are essentially a low cost leader in our business model. What that means is that the vast majority of accounts of paying customers on our application will be free. So you need a lot of them, and I'll tell you why. Now, even the highest tiers, and there's actually a question that comes later, so I won't answer it, but even the highest tiers are in the hundreds of dollars. Now, if you think about Apple News Plus, if you wanted to create a similar reading experience with your digital publication, you would need something like Apple News Plus. These typically run you high 6 to 7 figures annually for the proper tools and team in order to do what we do for you for a couple $100 a month or free. Understanding that distinction is very critical to understanding VersoView and understanding why I said we've already done it, but more like 3 months. And so why do we do that? The reason why we do that is because VersoView's intention is to capture everyone. This is not designed only for the Garudas of the world. Right now we're onboarding multi-million and billion-dollar companies because they're recognizable. They have reach and resources that we need. They can give us large amounts of feedback, and they have internal development and marketing divisions that we can interact with and interface with in order to work through beta processes. Whereas a small company is a lot of work for very little return resource. That's the only reason why we've chosen certain companies from our Rolodex to be our premier clients and not others. They serve a certain function for us to demonstrate an MVP, test features within the constraints of a given budget, and then reach our goals. So monetizing the platform happens in a variety of ways, but the primary one, the most obvious one, is subscriptions. So when a brand comes on and pays a couple $100 a month or whatever, then that's revenue. But you can't build a multi-billion-dollar revenue company with $100. You need a lot of $100 to get to your goals. And so the secondary piece, and I get, this is also a question that comes later on, which actually I'll actually pause this. But the secondary piece is the relationship of advertising with and how we derive revenue from that. But I'll get into those details later. So when are we going to monetize the platform? As you know, monetizing the platform means we bring in revenue. That revenue, it is a portion of that revenue is siphoned through our tokenomics. It comes into VVT through a market purchasing, and that VVT is then split into half of it goes to a permanent lock, taking it out of circulation for all of eternity. And the other half is taken out of circulation, but put into our staking rewards pool in order to fund the future, if you will. So to perpetuate the staking rewards over indefinitely. That we have not begun the process of that because the numbers are very small. If you think about, if you have a couple of clients and you're not charging them for advertising or very little for advertising, what are they paying on a monthly basis when you run a 3-figure cost structure on your application processes? And then for our open beta, for our alpha and beta clients, we waived those fees. So, we're not going to say, hey, can you allocate a bunch of resources to test our application for us so that we can both use you for development needs and also marketing. And oh, by the way, here's a bill. So we've waived those costs for those businesses who are already using our application and white labeled solutions up to this point. So the real point where monetization happens is in the open beta. We will be charging in some capacity for open beta, but when you see our announcement about the closed beta, you'll see that our closed beta is going to be announced in a way that has a call to action to new companies. So if you're a CEO or an organization leader, or you run an event or whatever, if you're a brand or a business or a celebrity, and you're looking for a new way to do this, we're going to send out a call to action to you in our closed beta announcement saying, please come talk to us now, and we'll give you priority access to our open beta. And then we'll provide some sort of incentive, and that may be a waiving of fees or an increase in tier or whatever to encourage you to come on early and deal with the headaches that come with betas. So obviously, when we do VersoView 1.0 in quarter one, it's not going to work flawlessly every time. So brands tend to want to wait. They want to wait until the kinks are worked out, so that they don't have the headaches or the hiccups or the friction that comes with testing things. And so to incentivize that, dealing with those headaches, we want to incentivize those businesses so that can slow down the monetization. But understand that monetization will begin at that time, because there will be advertising that begins. There will be subscriptions that are beginning. And then there will be the microtransactions that occur between the users and the rest of the ecosystem. So I think I would think quarter one, and especially in quarter two, those tokenomics will begin to really play out. And then 2022, by the end of 2022, I think minds will be blown.